Elena Ghazale.
Thank you very much for having me here. Feliz Navidad para todos. Merry Christmas to all.
And
we have
Juliane Nendel, alles Gute und ein gesundes neues Jahr 2021 an alle. Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year from America, from Germany, from Spain. Happy New Year to wherever you are in the world today. Today our topic is 2021, new year, new adventure. Juliane, Elena, and I have been friends for quite a long time. Share that with you up front. And we have so much fun when we get together and start talking and sharing together about the different things that we've been working on, our future thinking and planning. And we really want to share with you today some of the things that we do, the way we go about thinking of, it's not just a new year for us. It's a new day every day. 2020 was quite difficult. There were a lot of, you would not know it. If you met Elena, if you met Juliane, if you met me, if, you know, on all the things we do, you would not know up front. Each of us had some difficult things that were going on in our background through 2021. Had nothing to do with COVID, had nothing to do with politics, had nothing to do with any of that. It was just things that were, it was life. Life was just happening in each of our lives. And we're all three in massive growth. And as you're in massive growth, things do change, things do happen, life happens. And one of the things that we were talking about is we look at every day as a new day. We take every day as a new day when it comes. We do things like our big goal setting, our picture board, dream boards. We do that every day, and we're constantly readjusting. It isn't on the 31st of December or a couple of days before we say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. We're doing that constantly. That is something that's just part of our life. And as we're reaching one goal, we're looking for where is the universe taking us for our next part of our journey? Where is this growing to? So I really wanted Elena and Juliane to share with you a little bit today. You hear an awful lot from me. I would love, Elena is on here. She was able to be with us today. We're so excited. Elena, would you like to share one or two things that you do different?
Okay, well, to start with, I'm always working on a master plan that I'm trying to achieve, and that does never start on the 1st of January, as you properly said at the beginning of this MasterMind. I usually have a master plan. I've been having the same master plan now for a while, and all I try to do is create a certain amount of goals that I achieve one by one. And those goals never end, because once I achieve one goal, another one starts. And as long as I've got my eyes in the focus, in my goal, in my final goal, I think New Year is kind of a paradigm for lots of people in their heads. No, they think it's like, I'm allowed. That's it. This is like I'm gonna cut here. I'm gonna start from here on, and I'm allowed now to do something better. What they don't know, which I think maybe people like us understood a long time ago, is that this chance you get it every single day of your life. So every day when I wake up, I ask myself whether I am happy with the life I've got, whether my goals are still something that motivates me. And if there is something I don't like, I change it. And if I'm still on track and I still agree with all those goals I've just marked for myself, then I just go for it. I get up with all this wanting to achieve every day. So that's me. So I really hope there's a lot more like myself out there.
Yeah.
Juliane, how about you?
Well, this past year has been a very special one in terms of goal setting and goal achieving. I think you can set goals, and they will not maybe manifest and be there right away in reality. And it's in last year that has shown that the deeper goal was, for me personally, more striving for inner calmness and inner peace, and knowing that with faith I can actually get through that journey, and actually enjoying the journey, and more enjoying the process of getting to where I want to be going. That for me has been something I learned in 2020, and I'm actually very grateful for this process, which sometimes, yes, can be quite a rough ride actually, and it feels like a roller coaster at times, with moments of despair, to be honest. But yes, there are things that keep you going, and I think what the three of us have very much in common is that we all three are very enthusiastic and very cheerful. It helped also a lot, the mastermind chats with amongst us, to keep that cheerfulness going, and to keep that spark alive, to keep that spark of joy and love going, because that's who we are, and that's sometimes a little bit forgotten, or is just pushed down a little bit. Not so much by the external, but external, but sometimes it also can be by our own self. So that's a process of learning to re-love and giving love, and re-sparking that joy. And that for me was the biggest lesson I learned last year. So
Yeah. I think we're all three continual learners as well. I think that's huge, 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 huge as part of our everyday is we are continually learning and seeking to learn new how to be a better me today than I was yesterday, so I can help other people to a better place tomorrow for their life. I think that's a huge part of all three of our lives is this continual learning. Right now, in the last year, James and I started studying Jacqueline Novogratz, and I've been sharing quite a bit from her. It was a fabulous, beautiful 11-week course that we took. It was all online. And this woman has done the most incredible, amazing things. She's helped change individuals' lives. She's helped change communities. And she's helped change small countries to better places. Phenomenal. And we've been learning it's moral leadership. Ah, there it is.
I am so excited to be studying with you.
Yes. And we enjoyed that course so much that we've already signed up for it again starting in February. And that was part of that real understanding paradigms, and those are things that cause people to do and behave, and if they have a particular habit that they've created, but the layers, the myriad of layers of identities was really it was really eye-opening for us. As much as we understand and study paradigms, it changed and flipped that even just a little bit more for us. This myriad of layers of identities of how we put the labels that we have, that from the time we were very, very young, the labels we have created or others have put on us. like I was sharing the one my brother put on me quite a few years ago that I'm very happy with. Grace under pressure, ninja negotiator. You know, that I love it. I love it. Um, and grandmother and businesswoman and global citizen. And this is where I'm heading into 2021, is going much deeper in these particular areas to help others in those areas. And Elena, I know you're working on some really, really fun things going into 2020, 21, and 2020. Actually, some of the difficult things that went on for you actually laser focused you for,
Absolutely.
for where well, you've already started in 2020, but
Yeah, yeah.
where you're,
I actually started long before. It's just that the whole road is try to do something, fail at it, get up again, try to do it again in a slightly different way. This time is the one you give it another go and then you fail again. And I've spent probably the last decade getting up and down. Luckily, I've made a
and you're
living.
not alone. You are not alone.
No, I know,
I
I know.
feel like it. And this is the whole message today. You are not alone. If
Exactly.
you
No, definitely not
are
alone.
not alone.
And it proves also that after so many times that you fall over, you know you're in the right path because you keep going. You
Yeah.
keep going. And it's that moment when you
Sit
think, like
here.
it was for me last year, it was a year, it was such a horrible year in many ways. And it was wonderful in many others, that I almost threw the towel away. You know, I almost said, I almost gave up with everything. In fact, I even left the country to another country. I went to the UK for 8 months thinking, that's it, I've had it. But then lockdown came. Okay, so the universe has always this magnificent way of showing you
You're going
that
to stay put here for a little bit longer
you
so
try
that
it
you
now.
can get your focus again.
Exactly. And for people to understand more or less now what I'm talking about, because obviously you guys know, but people who are listening may not know. Last year, what happened? Just a sequence of events. I'm just going to give you the headlights. Is it how you call it? The headlights,
Yes.
the highlights of it.
I like.
So in May last year, unfortunately, my little doggy died. It was a horrible accident, and she went very quickly. Then in July, I got divorced after 15 years relationship to a wonderful human being, which I love to bits, but you know, relationships change. And then in October, November, I went to the Sahara Desert on a trip of 10 days that unfortunately ended up really badly for me. There was a terrorist attack, and luckily, well, it didn't end up badly for me, actually. It ended up very well for me, not for many other people. And after I came back is when I decided that that's it, I've had it. You know, there's nothing left of the life I had, and I decided to emigrate. So that's why I went to the UK, and I wanted to do something mechanic. I didn't want to have to think about anything. In my head, everything had ended. Now, then lockdown came, and that gave me the time to heal, to understand, to forgive, to reshape everything. And that was the moment where I think I got sharp focus. I understand that many people, unfortunately, have not had the same experience on lockdown, because every single one of us have a complete different set of circumstances to deal with. But I am pretty sure that the person we are today, with no exception, it's not the same person as before all this happened.
Yes.
And if we are able to take all this pain, all this loss, all this grief, all this time, all this fun time for other people, all the and just turn it into something positive, like I think I have, your life could turn out amazing. And this is why this subject, this topic, I love it. New year, new adventure. Although for me, it's every day a new adventure. And it's been a while now since I've decided to go back on track. And my life has gone from thinking thinking I've lost absolutely everything, to a point where I think this year may be the year I achieve that final goal that I wanted to, I've been craving so much, which is, for example, to get to my financial independence. You see, from a moment where I thought I lost it all last year to this year that I think, no, I know 2021 will bring me that financial independence and that I've been craving for so many years. So once I achieve that, I swear to God, I already know it's possible for every single one of you, because I started with absolutely nothing. And what's the difference from people who get there and people who don't actually get there is action. I think is that we actually act on it every single day of our life. Is this thing that I'm doing today getting me closer to this goal or not? And I think all those bad experiences, that if, I've spoken, I had to go to therapy, I had to go to a shrink, I had to talk to lots of people because I could not lift my head up after you realize how many people died after being there, after getting divorced, after 15 years, after so many series of events, then lockdown, then come back to Spain, and then you expect to go home and be loved by your family, and then that doesn't happen quite the same way you expect, and they ask you to leave. All of those things put you in such a perspective that at the end you say, you know what, I'm here to dance. I've come to this world to give it a good go, no matter what. It doesn't matter what I do. The world is going to act as crazy as always, but if I keep my eyes in the goal, there's no way I'm not going to achieve it. And this is what's happening to me right now. I mean, this transition of getting the absolutely everything that I always wanted. And that happens just because I did not think that today is the day to start.
2021. Yes, you didn't wait till 2021.
No.
You started a year ago working.
Exactly.
Absolutely, Elena, and I wanted to say that you mentioned two keywords that are very important in the whole scenario that you just described. Is really gratitude and being able to forgive. I think those are really strong words, which if we can build them into our day to day, it will help a lot moving through problems or challenging times. This is really something that keeps yourself going, and the universe always has a fun way and an unexpected way to show up and to say, here I am. We didn't know a week ago that we would be on together.
No, we didn't. No.
That just happened.
No, we didn't.
Oh,
It just happened.
yeah.
But we made it happen.
Those great things happen just like that.
Yep, yep. Absolutely.
And this year has been, or last year has been a lot of dropping expectations.
Yes.
For me, it has been dropping expectations, and then boom, all of a sudden, really lovely things start to happen. If you least expect it, you've been like seeding the whole time, like you were describing, Elena, like seeding, wanting, but then you were tense the whole time, obviously. But once you relax into maybe not expecting too much, then it starts to happen. Then the flowers start to bloom and to blossom.
Exactly, Juliane. I would say exactly what about to drop, when about to quit, when you're about to just say that's it. That if you just carry on that little extra mile, is when you have clarity.
Yeah.
Why? Because just not caring anymore about all the glitter that comes around your actual goal, it gives you the clarity. Because in order to succeed, if we think about any success, any form of success, being a great mother, being a great teacher, being a great coach, being a great baker, it doesn't matter what it is in your head that you want to succeed at. You need clarity. What is it that you actually want to succeed at? What is it that you're after? But to the complete, to define every single detail of it, then you need a strategy, which is what you keep trying, failing, getting up and down and up and down until you get the right one for you. And then you need coherence, which it brings you to the book you just showed, Manifesto for a Moral Revolution, I don't know what that book's about, which I'm looking forward to reading it. But
Moral leadership. Yeah, moral leadership.
but and that's what I mean with coherence. If you have a coherence between actually your goal and your strategy, there's absolutely no way that you're not going to achieve at least the next step of your path. And this is what most people need to fit in, like second skin in their heads. So every morning they get up thinking, okay, what is it that I want today? And is it the same I wanted yesterday? And just really think about it. Because if we don't take the time to think about it, life just passes by until next year's resolution and the year after and the year after and the year after without actually nothing happening.
You have to be able to do one step at a time. You have to do what's immediately in front of you right now today that's taking you to that. Because if you're trying to do step number 20 or step number 100, you haven't done step 1, 2, 3, step 30, 40, 50. And with each step you're doing, it's opening something new today. And it's helping you build that solid foundation that you must build. And the passion of it has got to be like what both of you are talking about. You have got to have that deep passion, because otherwise you will just drop whatever it is and go on to the next thing. But it's all a learning. That was the other thing. Every step that you took, and then when you fell, you learned something that from that. When you got back up again, okay, that didn't work, but that part of it did. Maybe I just didn't quite have something other part of it quite worked out yet. And if you've never been there, Juliane and I have talked about this many times. If you've never been there before, how do you know? How do you know what to do?
You know,
You can read, you can talk to people who have been there, you can follow what they tell you, but you are uniquely you. Each one of us are uniquely you, and each one of our paths are slightly different. Even though we may do very similar things, our paths, our life paths have been completely different. You grew up in Spain, Elena, Juliane, you grew up in Germany, I grew up in America. And each had different things going on in our lives as we were learning and growing, which created who we uniquely are. It created our unique paradigms, our unique thinking. But there was something going on in each of our lives that caused us to have this drive that we have, this ability to see past a failure and not look at it as a failure. What everyone else calls as a failure, we just go, okay, that was something else I needed to learn here. I may not know exactly what or why right this minute, but that was something there's something I had to learn from this. And I think one of the things some other people may have a problem with is not wanting to look like a failure, or not like, they don't like that word failure. So they won't actually try again. Where if this is really where you wanted to go, go. Or maybe shift it slightly. If you're going and you're going and you're going and it's dead end, dead end, dead end, maybe you're just supposed to slightly shift that road a little bit. And maybe try something over here. Or if you're just exhausted at this, going at it, definitely try something else, because you're going to learn something else over here and come back and go again. And the way that Mike Dooley, one of my mentors, just adore, he talks about the GPS system. We all talk about this. The three of us talk about this a lot. That with the way the GPS system works is you don't have any problem getting in your car, putting your GPS system on, plugging in, I want to go somewhere I've never been before, right? Mm-hmm. Plug in the address of where I've never been, and you let the GPS guide you to your destination, right? The universe works in the same exact way. we have to be clear enough to know I want to go to 123 Baker Road, right? We have to be clear enough that that's what our goal is.
Exactly.
That I want to go to 123 goal. And what does that, you don't know where you're going. Maybe you've looked on the internet, or if you're going on a big trip, you're going to another country. Juliane, did you know what it was going to be like exactly when you went to America when you were 14 years old, 13 years old?
No, I
You
had no
looked up pictures and you were
exactly.
creating a vision and you were creating all this stuff in your head of what it might be like. And you said you were writing letters back and forth at that time.
Yes, exactly. So because obviously I had my own little movie that I created. That was my only thought that I had how it could be. But then exchanging letters at that time with the family I was gonna stay with, we were starting to talk about things we were gonna do, places where we were gonna visit, and that created even more of an image. But back then there was no internet to quickly check up on. Oh, this is
Exactly.
what it looks like.
It was
So
magazines and yeah, library. And
yeah,
Elena, the same for you. When you were 17 and you were going up to the UK for the first time, you hadn't been there and you were learning English
Yeah.
and did you know you had never been there before?
Absolutely nothing. I had no idea what was going to. In fact, all the information I had is that English people would put logs in the fridge so you wouldn't eat. And it was so cold, you were gonna die because if we Spanish people, we're not ready for Canarians, we're not ready for that. And all sorts of messages. When I heard them, I'm thinking, oh my God, that's so horrible. But still, even though I was so excited about going and see the lock in the fridge and freezing to death.
And you've got your hat, you've got
Exactly. Since then, I never took it off. And I was so excited about seeing all those horrible things people told me about that when I actually went there and I saw what a wonderful country, what a beautiful food, and that actually had no locks anywhere. And
no locks on the refrigerator.
no. And it was so cool, and it did me so well that England is now my second home. Since
There you go.
1997, I've been there tens of times. I don't know how many times I've been there. I
Yeah.
lived there for years. I've studied at the Welsh University, although from Spain, but I've done courses in the UK. The UK has now, because I actually expanded my comfort zone into something that I really wanted, even though it scared me at the time, because I went with just one-way ticket and 30 euros in today's money, that I thought to myself, oh my God, what's going to happen? But I just didn't care. I thought, whatever happens, I'll deal with it when it happens.
And
And
this is
sometimes
what every goal is. What the two of you just described is what every goal is, no matter how small or how big. This is exactly what you do. You create the image. You do your researching. You are so excited. There's people were telling you there were locks on the fridge and it was
it
terrible,
didn't matter.
and it was not going to stop you.
No.
And Juliane, I'm sure the same with you. There were all sorts of stories that people were trying to dissuade you from going and doing.
America, oof, guns,
I,
this,
I,
that, you're gonna get
I
shot, you're gonna
remember.
die.
I remember because I went when I lived in America for the year. I went there in a quite anorexic state. So
Yes,
I was
yes, with your health, yes,
hugely underweight,
yes.
and the people were telling me, well, you're gonna gain like at least 20 kilos with the food that they're gonna offer you. So, well, I mean, I gained my original weight back.
You got back to health. Yeah,
Exactly. So everything always works out in a perfect way.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. You know what? We're coming to the end of our 30 minutes, Elena and Juliane. I cannot believe it. It just went zoom, absolutely zoom. I can't thank both of you enough for today and everything that you've shared with everyone. And hopefully this has been huge help for you that every day is a new day, a new adventure.
Yeah.
Without doubt, every day.
Start 2021 with that thinking. Set that as your goal.
Mhm.
2021, every day is a new day, a new adventure.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Happy,
Think
be
happy
happy.
and be happy. Absolutely. And get that attitude right.
Yeah.
This is Lorrie MacGilvray,
Juliane Nendel.
And Elena Ghazale.
and thank you. Happy, happy New Year. Happy, happy New Year to you. Mwah. See you next Friday.
Bye.